Hey everyone, so the next part we want to further expand this effect here and try to replicate same colors uh, in our volumetric cloud shaders. Okay, essentially I want the clouds to be affected by the lights emitted from this half sphere, right? So to do that, first thing we want to do is we want to color the storm uh, region using a different color. So I'm gonna call this storm area color. By default it will be something like this, right? And we will use the storm alpha to to blend the colors. All right. Now for the emissive, we want to use this one, use this volume mask, and try to make like the clouds color it a bit same way these these custom clouds here are colored, right? Essentially we want it to be reddish and orange too, and we want to have the same thunder-like effect. So yeah, let's do that. So an easy way to do that, we can just grab this volume mask and say power, right? And I'm gonna set this value to something like -0.25, then multiply this by a small value like 0.001. All right, then saturate this and we will be able to control the intensity here. So let's set it at something like 3. And with this mask in place, you can use it alongside the light cloud light 01 color, and it will be initially something like this. All right, but as it is here, it will affect all the clouds, but we really want to affect the storm area. So what you can do is you can say storm center or storm alpha. Guess I'm gonna use the storm alpha and just contrast it a bit. Okay, so I'm gonna use the power node. And I'm gonna say this is multiplied like this. And let's try to rename this, right? So I'm gonna call this a light 01 mask, light 01 density, light 01 intensity, and this one light 01 mask contrast, light 01 mask 801 storm alpha contrast. So for this error here, I guess it's because the output here is set to float 2. Okay, it should be float 1. All right, this one I'm gonna just set it something like this, and let's see how this look. Okay, so let's apply, wait for it to compile. All right, so this is what we got. Okay, it's way too intense, so you might want to control the parameters. So for the light intensity here, right, I'm just gonna set it something like that. And for the contrast here, I guess this is fine. And let me show you the difference. Like if I set this to 0, you can see the difference, right? So yeah, we can just leave it like this. Let's just set this full screen so you can actually see this properly. Okay. Also, there is the storm area color, the albedo here, right? You can always like control the color of this one. So 0 to 5 is the way to go. Okay. Now, with this in place, what we can do is we can try to use the time function that you used with the half sphere and copy it into the volumetric material, volumetric cloud material. So let's try to do that. So I'm just gonna grab the same function as it is, right? I'm not gonna change anything. All right, let me just move this away. And here I will, I'm gonna say, for example, we can add this to the light intensity, or maybe we can just multiply it with this one, right? And just create some space here. So I'm gonna multiply it with that one and then do an add, right? Like this. And here I will just say thunder, let's say thunder light intensity. By default it is 1, okay, but we will obviously control that. So yeah, this should be fine. Let's compile and see how this looks. All right, as you can see, we're already getting something here. All we have to do is just go to thunder light intensity and tweak that. Okay, maybe that's too much. All right, so 0.5, 1.5. Yeah, I mean, depends on your preference. For me, like maybe 0.5 is the way to go. Yeah, yeah, guess that's the way to go. All right. So now we have this half sphere ready. We have the volumetric clouds kind of ready, right? I mean, there isn't much we can add really. Maybe there is actually something we should consider. All right, let's just go to our volumetric clouds material. So here, for example, maybe we can use this mask to control the intensity here. So I'm not sure if this will work great. We might wanna duplicate this and have this for this part its own parameters, but we definitely should give this a try. So let's just say I'm gonna multiply this here. Let's say, or I'm gonna just add 1 to this. And multiply it. Right. You can say, for example, here light 01 tip high clouds intensity. So by default this is 1. All right, let's grab our material instance while this is compiling. Alright, so we need to wait for this to compile now. Alright, let's say high cloud intensity. Yeah, this is working. As you can see, right? So something like 375 is maybe the way to go, or maybe 230303375. Yeah, we'll go with that. All right. Also keep in mind you can, even for the upper area of the cloud, you can have a different color if you choose to. Okay, just a matter of choice. Right. Let me just change that. This is how that looks. What would be wise is regarding the sky, maybe we might want like to alter its color a little bit or something. All right, so maybe we want to do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'll try to, let's open the sky dome material here. I'm gonna navigate to this and I'm gonna duplicate that. Okay, so this exists in the engine content. I want to duplicate this and I'm gonna call this, oops, I'm gonna call it custom simple sky dome. All right, and with this in place, you only have, as you can see in the emissive color, you only have these two. Okay, so this essentially will grab the sky atmosphere color, right? So one wise decision I guess we can make is we can reuse the clouds texture from here. Like we can just without the flow map, I don't think we really want to use the flow map here. Maybe not a wise decision with the skybox because you already have this effect here, so yeah, don't think I want to do that. So I'm just gonna grab this, convert to texture sample, and then grab texture coordinate. And with that, you will say multiply this by two scalars, one for x and one for y. So cloud x styling, and then there is cloud y tiling. So keep in mind for this skybox material, we will not really spend too much time as we did with this half sphere and the volumetric clouds, right? Mhm. Maybe in another tutorial series we will cover skyboxes uh, properly, but this one I'm just gonna try to get something that can work with what we got here, right? So needs to be simple. So I'm just gonna set the tiling here like this. Then I'm gonna say panel node, right? And the speed here, we wanna control the speed on both axes, right? So maybe the x-axis should be 0 actually. And then I'm gonna call this cloud speed, initialize at 0.1. Then you can slightly contrast these clouds. So I'm just gonna say clouds contrast. And the color of the clouds, maybe initially you can just say it is white. So I'm gonna say clouds color. Okay. And then just add this like that. Let's try to control cloud contrast, for example, here. Okay, we might want to flip this. Okay, we can set this 001. Tiling, maybe something like this. Alright. Maybe I will use the atmosphere light luminance and ground with some multiplier. Clouds brightness. Okay, so this is much better. Okay. I'm gonna invert the cloud speed so it goes the other direction. Now for the contrast, something like 2 is largely enough. The brightness, something like this is enough too. Now the very top here, we need to use gradient linear. Let me show you how this mask looks like. Alright, as you can see, it masks the very top area. Okay, so this is probably what we need. So I'm just gonna say and just place it here. Alright, maybe can multiply it by 2. Just contrast it a bit, I guess. All right. Now, let's look this. So one thing worth mentioning is, as you can see, when this half sphere right above the clouds and very, very far in distance, you can feel like the colors are a bit desaturated, right? And that's normal because of the fog and the atmosphere shading. So one way I found to improve this, actually there is like two ways. So the first way, let's say you want to keep this cheap shading, right? You just want to keep this as it is. Okay. You can, for example, you can go to this half sphere material, and in the shading parameters here, there is a parameter called let's say sky. Okay, so if you enable this, you get something like that, right? But as you can see, it feels way too saturated, right? So as you can see the difference here, right? You can, like, for example, have some desaturation node here. Let's just, you can slightly desaturate this. As you can see, if you want, you can do that. Or what you can do is you can use a translucency shading model, which obviously will make this cost much more, right? And make sure the opacity must be plugged into the opacity channel, right? And if you do that, you will notice some small difference. So this is before and now this is after. Okay. So this one, for example, feels more appropriate, right? This is, I guess, the right look. But if you go to the shading, the shader complexity, you can see it's the shader cost at least doubled, right? So if you're okay with this, you can leave it. Otherwise, you can just use the mask blend mode. Also, in case like you wanna try it, you can set this blend mode to be masked, and then use post-processing material while masking this, and just maybe contrast it a bit or do something. All right, so that's definitely something you can do. But in our case, we can just move it back to translucent just for the sake of getting something that looks good. right away without doing any uh, any other hack. Okay, so um, I guess that's it. I mean, for the sky material, I only wanted to add the clouds. Um, like ideally, what I would have done for the sky is you would bring some custom skybox texture, something like what you would find in games like in World of Warcraft and uh, games like these, right? Where even in the background you would have some buildings and some stuff like that. So yeah, for now, this should this should be the end of our tutorial. Um, Thank you for watching and make sure to join our Discord channel if you need help or if you got question on a specific topic.